Did you know over 60% of first-time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.
Thank you for joining me. This is Kati Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. We're back together. It's a Thursday, and this one is a short, but we'll see how short it is. Always, they're about the same length as our Monday episodes. That's okay. You and I together, we can do anything, baby. Message me if you know that song. Okay. Today we're talking about order versus disorder. What the heck am I talking about? Order always creates disorder. You can never have order in one area without having disorder in another. That's not failure. Let me just explain. If you ever have fixed one issue, let's say you created more order in an area of your business, have you ever noticed that it's broken something else? Whether that means the line of communication broke down, your processes, your systems. I once heard this multimillionaire speak on stage, and he said, when I went from $1 million business to $5 million, everything broke in my business and I had to rebuild. When we went to 5 to 10 million, same thing happened. And at the time I was like this baby entrepreneur, so I had really no idea what he meant. And now that I'm in this world, I get it. When you get to new levels where you're adding order, doing something new, you're going to have disorder somewhere else. And this is not failure. This is physics. This is physics. So we're going to unpack this law of nature and how does it show up in our businesses? So this is part of the law of thermodynamics. Have you ever heard of entropy? Well, that is this lack of order or predictability, and it naturally will increase. In other words, disorder will become the default state all the time. Like that is actually always happening. It's like a pull. Isn't that interesting? There's always this pull towards disorder. Anytime you apply energy to bring order, you create pressure somewhere else. Let me just say that again so you can kind of wrap your head around that. Anytime you apply energy towards order or bringing order about, you create pressure somewhere else. So if you're working to optimize your scheduling, you might create bottlenecks in processing payments or communication gaps with your team. Friends, leadership, specifically if you're in leadership, the ongoing transfer and management of energy is going to delay disorder. So you're going to work on this all the time. What do I mean? What does this mean for you as a leader? It means anytime you want to create order, anticipate where disorder is going to come from. And let me just start you at a foundational place. Let's say you want to create more order, more structure, whatever it is in a certain area of your business. The first thing you want to ask yourself is, what problem are we solving? And the second question is, how will we define success with this change? Very, very important. So that there's always that critical why behind the reason you're doing this new thing or creating order in this way. Because you're going to go through disorder. You have to anticipate it. So if you don't have that foundation in place, you're going to be pissed off, or your leaders that join you in this are eventually going to be like, burnt out. Why did we do this? This was a terrible decision. Start with, what problem are we solving together? And what does success look like for this? Your role as a leader is not to eliminate disorder, it's to predict it. You're going to anticipate it, and then you're going to be in charge of it. You're going to direct it. So there are signs if something has been put into place and now is causing disorder. You might have just a lack of engagement from the team. You might see that only a few people with this change are doing all the heavy lifting. They probably don't love that. Wishing everybody else would do their part. Sometimes new things are heard, but not actually absorbed. You might see a decline in energy, creativity, or initiative. You might have a lot of resistance because there's maybe a lot of confusion when change rolls out. And you might feel, and your leadership team, that you're in consistent, or constant firefighting mode. This does not feel great. So know that with change, by creating order, anticipate the disorder. So shift your mindset, because order always comes at a cost. So you must budget for energy and attention towards that change. So here are some suggestions. When creating order, map where the disorder might show up. Where might this appear? If we go and do this thing that fixes the problem or solves a problem, what might be getting ignored? What cost? What will this, what's the cost that this will come with? Plan for secondary support. Who else is going to help you roll out this leadership? You got to have more than one or two people on your team when you roll out something new or create order in an area of change. Always communication more than implementation. Now, we've been in situations where something got implemented before we had a chance to communicate and get everybody on the same page. And it's never a good feeling. And then you're playing catch up and you're having all these individual conversations with your team to make sure now everybody's on the same page. So communicate before implementing. And you want that buy-in. I mean, if you don't plan for team buy-in before implementing change, or at least from that upper level of circle of influencers on your team, that is a risk. That could cause chaos. You want to reduce that chaos and reduce that risk. Sometimes you might look at the new thing you want to do and how do you stagger it out versus all at once? Is this something you have to do all at once, or can this come in stages? And that might be worth looking at, doing things in stages, because if it's all at once, you might have major overwhelm. And not everybody works at the same cadence. So you're going to have your team players who are quick and they're going to get it, process it, implement it. And they're like, I'm good. And you're going to have other people that it's going to take time. So do you launch this for the couple that can do it quick, or the majority who needs this staggered out? You got to kind of ask yourself that, depending on what it is. And then keep checking in after that change is made, that new thing or the order you've created in an area, that problem you're working to solve together. Keep having little micro check-ins. How is this going? What have you seen today? How did today go? What's the win for the day? Any challenges? Have those really, they don't have to be long, but having those little moments helps bring clarity, makes any changes easier. Everybody feels like they're in it together and you never feel stuck. And by the way, I feel thankful that we're in this industry and we're never stuck. You run this awesome business and it happens to be in a very creative space. So implementing change doesn't mean you scrap the idea altogether, though that could happen, but it could mean you have the total freedom to make changes to the thing you changed. And you should be doing that anyway. Like, think about your employee handbook. Isn't that a living, breathing document that always evolves? Because as your company grows and evolves for the better, you're going to have better policies, new programs that are going to constantly be updated. So just remember, this is ongoing. When you think about implementing new order in an area, think about the stages of that. You have the build stage where this new thing you want to do takes priority. You're going to work on this as a company and your team. And then after you implement, you work on stabilization. This is where you let your systems catch up. You cannot anticipate everything. So when you go to launch something new, you're going to have to come back and make revisions as you go. That's typical. And before you scale something significantly, evaluate, 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 evaluate. And you're always saying, what has worked? What hasn't worked? What could be better? And having those consistent check ins, tweaking things a little bit better all the time. Entropy never sleeps. Entropy, if you remember at the beginning, we talked about that's the lack of order or lack of predictability. You'll never have 100% predictability in your business, 100% order. It's not possible. So work to manage disorder, just impulses, one thing at a time. Not everything is an immediate fire, but everything can be better, and it's going to be over the course of time. So here are a few kind of closing notes for you. Disorder doesn't mean you failed. It means you're moving. You're actually progressing, because the goal isn't perfection. It's progression. You don't need control. You need anticipation. You don't need control. You need anticipation. And people that surround you who want to lead with you, who also will be in that right mindset of like, here's the thing that, we didn't anticipate this was going to be the issue, but it's the issue. And we anticipated that an issue would occur. So here we go. Let's work together on solving that. And great leaders, they don't fight disorder. It's almost like we welcome it, because it's like, there, you've arrived. Let's do this. So great leaders, they expect disorder to happen. They design for it and they lead through it. So when you create order, expect disorder. And that's not chaos. It's leadership in motion. Friends, I hope you share this short with your leaders just to get everybody on the same page and mindset, because we have this something in us that says if everything's not great, then we don't have that great of a business. And that is total bull crap. There is no business I've ever seen. Let me just say this, because Maya gets me at seats of tables in this industry with people that I know are very well respected. They run multi-million-dollar companies valued at potentially billions. I'm the little guy in tech, and I shouldn't say I, because it's not just me. Our company is a force. We are loved because we deliver a great service, a great software. Our partners get results, and they also get cared for big time. Our customer care is next level. If you work with Maya, you already know. And here I sit feeling sometimes a little intimidated at certain tables or in conversations. And I'm always blown away when you open the door and see behind the scenes of something you think is so big and awesome and cool, that there is plenty of disorder. Plenty. And it doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, they're not who I thought they were. It's that is how it is. And sometimes that points to how innovative people are and companies are. Because again, if you're not a company in motion, then you wouldn't be creating order that would cause disorder, right? So, like, be a company in motion, get your leaders on board with this mindset that chaos and disorder is inevitable, but you're all gonna strap up your roots and work on it together because that's the fun of it. And by the way, we're in a fun industry. So, don't take it too seriously. Have some fun. Do it with great people who love this as much as you do. And keep, keep going. Until next time, everybody, have an awesome day and stay strong.